This is a chokecherry, and we call it minced, and it's just means berry. And this one grows every year. You can always be guaranteed to have chokecherries. This is what you make pemmican with. This is there's a long story about chokecherry. The As long as the berries are green, you cannot kill a doe. Once they turn red, then the fawn can take care of himself and you can kill does. But the Cheyennes would not kill a doe while the berry is still green. Uh, they use the long sticks to, they cut them and they use them to stretch dry meat so that it'll stretch and dry better. And also when the old ladies were cooking meat, cutting meat, deer meat, and drying it on the racks, they would tell us to put deer ribs, a whole rack of deer ribs alongside the fire for their lunch. And when they were cooked, we'd turn them and cook the other side. And when they were ready to eat, they'd put their knives away and they'd start sharpening them or putting them away. And we would take a hatchet or an axe and bust the leg bone of the deer, and would skin one of these saplings, the chokecherry sticks. Would skin them, take the bark off them, and that's what they use to stick inside of the marrow. To get the marrow out, they'd run it through their mouth. They'd get that fat out of the bones, that marrow. You cannot use an iron, a piece of wire or anything, metal. The belief is that if you do that, your horse will break a leg. And the Cheyennes were real superstitious about that. So you had to be real careful. You could never mimic injury. If I busted a leg bone and I put it back together again, that's mimicking injury, and a horse will break his leg. So everything was about taking care of your horses. The chokecherry also, the big chokecherry we use for the bigger ones, we use them for teepee steaks. That's what the teepee steaks are made out of, the big ones. And the reason they use chokecherry is whenever a man goes through the piercing ceremony, he has to make pegs that they pierce through his skin on his chest. And they have to be made from chokecherry, from an old teepee steak that you asked from an old lady that had a teepee. You would go to that old lady and tell them that what you planned on doing, and you ask her for a teepee steak. And the Cheyenne word for that is mukistits. That's how you say teepee steak. And he would get a dried up old steak, and he would go back to the house and he would make pins that were the size of his finger. He would make 2 pins, and when he went through his ceremony, they would pull his skin and pinch it for a while, and then pull it as far as they can, and they'd stick a knife through it, and then they put the chokecherry pin through it, which they tied with buckskin rope all the way to the top of a tree. That's how he went through his ceremony, pulling on that tree. Went in a half moon facing east. He would have a trail indentation where he walked all night. He's pulled against it. And they usually took him down the next day, or if he wanted to go another day, they let him. His mother stands by the tree facing east with a pipe, and when he gets certain times during the night, he'll go walk up to his mother, and she'll give him the pipe, and he'll smoke and pray. But the chokecherry is kind of it's probably one of the most important berries in the Cheyenne life. You can make pemmican with it. It has cyanide gas in the pits, but we grind them up. We grind them up, and it doesn't hurt anybody. And one old man, a medicine man, told me that when you grind up the chokecherry after it's ripe, and you grind up the seed, it mixes that poison with the entire berry, and you have children eat it as it's being ground up fresh. They will stick it in their mouth. They say that it prevents cancer. They say that it builds an immune system around the weak cells in your body. And I think one of the greatest things about picking berries is the memories. When you go out and pick chokecherries with your family, the kids are laughing, they're throwing berries at each other, you can hear them, the grandmother scolding people that quit playing and to pick berries. But they always picked berries and preserved them for the winter. It's what the Sutda people did all summer, was to harvest different foods. They would not only pick chokecherries, they would pick all the other berries, the currant, the juneberry, the plums, the buffleberry. Minced, minced, minced.